Still waiting for a big smile out of you. You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rick's Blazin Takes. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you here with me. I appreciate that. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
Yes, sir. Happy holidays to everyone and everyone's. This is Rick Blaze. This is Blazin Takes coming at you. Another episode today in SimWorld. I got some things I need to talk about. Hey. All right, so we're going to talk about it today. Thanks, Carl. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm introducing a new segment that I'm going to be rolling out as I see fit. This is called a hot seat. So this is me one-on-one with individuals, players, coaches, however I see fit. And we're going to just talk about some things. We're going to get to it. So let's get to it. And I'm here today with the first episode of what I call the hot seat. And I have my first guest on the hot seat with me today, none other than the recently resigned former coach of H-Town Hoopers. I call him the Zen Master. You can call him what you want to call him, Coach Tim Belardi. Coach Belardi, how are you doing, sir? It's good to have you here in the hot seat.
Doing good. How's it going?
Hey, you know, you've been the topic of conversation recently in this holiday season. First of all, happy holidays to you. How was your holiday?
You as well? It was pretty hectic, but just winding down now, so
good.
Appreciating this time.
Good. So let's get to this. Let's get into it. You know, there's been a lot of talk about the what seemed like an abrupt resignation from you and the H-Town Hoopers organization. When did you decide that you wanted to resign, and was it? And when did the kids know that, hey, this was going to be from our outside looking in, it looks like, hey, we was playing today, the game is over, let's make an announcement. I'm sure there's a lot more to it than that, right? So when did you decide that you want to resign, and when did the kids know that this was going to be indeed your last coaching game?
Right around the Gulf Coast game is when things really set in. I mean, it's been kind of building since the off season. I think we seen how things went in the off season, as with my recruiting and everything else. Just my time was kind of stretched pretty thin. Just I have certain personal things that needed taken care of that were taking time, and I think right before the Gulf Coast game is when it finally came to a head, and I feel like at some point, to be successful in this league, I mean, things require a lot of dedication, a lot of time, and I obviously, both on the court and off the court, I felt like I was half-assing both sides, and to be successful, that's not going to work. Okay. And just the kids deserve better, both on the court and also at home. Both sides, they deserve someone that has the more time to give them, and that's ultimately where I came.
Okay.
To this decision.
And Coach,
and then also health reasons.
Yeah. Which
I won't get into, but yeah, just a lot of things just stacked up, and like I said, it requires a lot of dedication on both parts, and I felt both sides deserve more from me, and that's where I came to my decision.
And Coach, you know, I really appreciate your honesty in saying this, and your transparency in that. I think a lot of people forget about, you know, as coaches and as players, we're humans too. We're humans first, right? And life happens, and things happen, and we ask these players to come out on the court and be phenomenal every night, but sometimes things outside the court can get in the way. We ask these coaches to be phenomenal every night, and sometimes things outside the court kind of gets in the way. And I'm glad that you were able to recognize that and make a decision that you feel would help everyone in the long run, as opposed to letting it linger as long as it did. So at what point in time did the players know that, hey, this is going to be coach's last game?
I would say about a week prior to the Lone Star game, and then throughout that week, other players, I kind of reached out here, and here throughout the week, and let them know.
Okay. So they knew going into the Lone Star game that this was going to be the last game that you coached. All right, fantastic. So, and we're going to continue to unravel it, Coach, because this is the hot seat. So, the seat's going to get a little bit warmer as we continue to progress. That's what the hot seat does. So, let me ask you about the players. This particular group of players from H-Town. Well, all of the players that you've coached, out of all the players you've coached during your SimWorld prep history, from ground zero season all the way to this season, which players over the career span of SimWorld prep have stood out the most to you as far as you coaching them, and why?
I'd say there's three, and it's just based off the relationships that I've built with the three. One would be Majere Williams. Me and him still remain in contact and still have a great relationship. Corey Yams. Corey was my first recruit in the second season. First recruit I've ever talked to. First recruit I ever targeted.
Whoa. Hold on, Coach. You telling me Corey Yams was your first recruit from last season?
Correct.
Wow. But he ended up on Showtime instead of the
day before my offer went out, he accepted from Showtime.
Wow. So Corey Yams would have been on
Gotham,
East Coast. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, what was your third player?
And J-Mo.
Okay.
And just the relationship that we built from Latin America to him coming aboard Houston. And then, of course, there's the Almighty Soul. We started building a relationship as well. Have been in contact a lot as well. I mean, there's even guys from other teams. I mean, this league, it's built off the relationships that you have with people.
Right.
I built a lot of relationships, even with guys on other teams, other coaches. So, I mean, there's a lot there.
So speaking of, you mentioned three players that are on the current H-Town Hoopers team. One of the names that Corey Yams going to, seeing him at G5 with Mugen Williams is kind of crazy to even think about that. But speaking of Corey Yams, he's a guy, and you've obviously been in contact with him since last season. But he's one of those players who's always in the news, always in the media. He's always into it with someone. What type of player? Now that you're off the staff, you're not employed by H-Town Hoopers no more. What type of guy, what type of player is that? For people who don't know, right? What type of player is he in the locker room? Is he? How does that carry over? How does that work inside the locker room with a personality like Corey Yams?
Corey Yams is a very vocal player, very positive player in our locker room. He says what he means and means what he says, and he's ready to back it up on the court. But when it comes to the locker room, he's there for his guys. He's there for his team, and he's always the vocal one getting his guys rounded up.
Okay, good deal. And as far as J-Mo, I know there was a lot to get him coming from all the way from where he was, Latin America, all the way here to H-Town Hoopers. How has the transition? I know, a lot of conversations probably went out to these parents and let them know what's going on. How was that transition for those players who've came to H-Town following you? How has that transition been for them once they figure out that you were not going to finish the season with them?
I mean, I'm sure it's tough, but they were understanding. Like I said, me and J-Mo have a great relationship, and he understood what I was dealing with and what I had to do. And they were all very understanding.
Well, Zen Master, it's gonna be tough to see you not in SimWorld Prep. And then I call you the Zen Master because I saw you since ground zero, the way you operated and where you worked your team. There are some people out there that would say, he's a great guy, but they question the validity of his coaching. For those naysayers who's gonna have, someone's always gonna have something to say. What would you say to those naysayers about your ability to coach here in SimWorld Prep?
I would say, hey, they can have their opinions. That's all right with me. First season, my sole focus was just winning. As time went on, and my priorities kind of changed a little bit. I focused more on building relationships, building the guys up, making sure they're better men off the court than on the court. And I just hope that somewhere down the line that's what I did. So with the wins and losses, I mean, the wins are a bonus. What the guys on the court or off the court, as long as they're better men off the court, then I'll be happy and feel like I did my part.
Well, Coach, you've definitely done that. You've also got some wins. You leave SimWorld Prep with the third most victories as a coach in SimWorld Prep. It kind of feels like a Barry Sanders situation to me. I said that in the thread the other day. I feel like Barry's on top of his game, and then Barry just say, what, I'm done. So but we respect that. Let me get some SimWorld questions before we get out of here. Aside from H-Town Hoopers, what team do you see can win it all this season?
Of course, there's Beasts of the East. Coach Drayton, just a hell of a coach, knows how to get it done. And also have a great relationship with him. And I know he'll have his guys ready to play. And then there's also Coach Pope. He's got a great group, guys, great roster. I think he has his guys playing well now. Started off a little rocky, but I full faith in him that he can get it done as well. And I mean, off the top of my head, those two stand out as guys that can. I mean, there's of course Coach Lee. Yeah. Coach Lee's been in championship 2 straight years. There's no doubt that I'm sure he can get back there again. But I mean, there's so many coaches that are just great coaches and have great rosters that it's any men's game.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said those names. So we got Bay Area, we got Southeast Select, and Beast of the East. 3 teams with really good talent, and also 3 really good coaches as well. Coach, I'm gonna get you out of here with one final question. Can we see a comeback? Is it possible? Is it possible?
As of now, I'm gonna say no, but I'll never say never.
Never say never. That's the heart of a champion. The Zen Master. Thank you so much, Coach, for your time. Enjoy your holiday. Enjoy your new freedom away from SimWorld Prep. We know you're going to be locked in and checking in, and we will talk to you soon, Coach. Appreciate your time.
For sure. Appreciate you, too.
Thank you, man.
Take care. Happy New Year.